From winning the Best Album Award of the Year at the December 2022 𝗰 Hip-Hop Awards, ahead of his rival 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗀, to having a verse on most major hip-hop remixes and albums of already established long-time-running artists. This is a story about how a university student turned graduate became one of the most recognized voices in Zimbabwean hip-hop. This is the curious case of Voltz Jt. Born 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗁𝘂𝗍𝘂𝘀𝘃. He is a second-born in a family of 4 boys. His big brother is 𝗩𝗂𝗿𝗁𝘂𝗍𝘂𝘀, known as the Bees, is also into music, and the two have a couple of collaborations. The two brothers influence one another as they boast a somewhat similar sound. Living in 𝗁𝘂𝗿𝗁𝘂𝗍𝘂𝘀, he used to idolize 𝗂𝘂𝗍𝘂𝗁𝘂𝗍, a Chi-Town rapper. And internationally, he took inspiration from Jay-Z and Kevin Gates.
I remember I started rapping inspired by Jay-Z and Kevin Gates.
When he initially started rapping, it was a hobby, something he did in between free periods at school. It became serious when he was in Form 6 at 𝗂𝗂𝗏 Jt Baptist High School in 𝗂𝗏𝗏. Back then, he didn't have any recorded singles, so he used to perform cover versions and renditions of his favorite songs. Back home in 𝗁𝘂𝗿𝗁𝘂𝗍𝘂𝘀, he finally decided to record something for the first time. He didn't know where, how, and who to approach. Eventually, it was though his longtime video producer and friend, 𝗁𝘂𝗿𝗏. Leo made him aware of Jamal, a local music producer. Then he was calling his studio New Rules at the time. It was at New Rules where Voltz Jt recorded his first single, the remix of 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗀𝗏𝗄's hit single. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on any of my future insightful videos. Back at 𝗂𝗏 Jt Baptist High School, Voltz Jt decided to perform his new song. His performance didn't go as he expected, as he received bad reviews from his peers and he was devastated. He then came to the realization that people should actually turn up, support, and follow his music because it's actually good music, and it is something people actually relate with. So he stopped rapping in English and started rapping in Shona. At the University of Zimbabwe, Voltz Jt, still in his first year studying a bachelor's degree in electronic and telecommunications, was introduced to 𝗁𝘂𝗿𝗁𝘂𝗍 and 𝗁𝘂𝗍 through a friend of his, only identified as CK. He released a dozen underground songs, some of which were collaborations, all if not most of which were under the radar in this period. Then he got introduced to the sound of trap for the first time, took a liking to it, listening to artists like Lil Uzi Vert, Trippie Redd, and Lil Yachty, so he decided to pursue it. That's around the same time he added Jt to his name, meaning jecha trap. One of the earliest people to be introduced to Voltz Jt's new sound were UZ students, through his underground track 𝗂𝘂𝗍𝗂𝗏. This song was initially a demo track, made while experimenting with the Shona trap sound. Wrote in a shared hostel at UZ, the one he shared with his friend, 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝘂𝗁𝘂𝗏. It took him 2 weeks to finish writing it, then recorded it at 𝗂𝘂𝗿𝗁𝘂𝗐's bedroom studio. Letter Z Music helped shoot and publish the video for 𝗂𝘂𝗍𝗂𝗏 on their YouTube channel in 2018. It was through this song that big producers and rappers were made aware of Voltz Jt. The likes of DJ 𝗃𝗏𝗏 actually invited him to the studio to share some friendly advice and to show support. Rapper turned actor Ten Diamond showed interest in signing him, but eventually the deal fell through. In 2018, Voltz Jt also released Woke Up Like This, a track he did with 𝗃𝘂𝗏𝗏. This is a dope track with a catchy chorus. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on any of my future insightful videos. Voltz Jt often talks about how much his studies occupied most of his time, and how he often released one song every semester that caused his listenership to drop dramatically. That, coupled with the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic and the initialization of the lockdown in 2019 and 2020, throw him under the radar. During this time, he took time to find new inspiration, from the biggest hip-hop songs at the time. Inspiration for his new sound came in the form of Bronx and London drill, a subgenre of the hip-hop collective. Listening to artists like Pop Smoke and 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗶𝘂𝘀. Lower BPM songs meant that he could actually rap in a slower, more deeper voice, as we notice in songs from that period. Songs like These Days, System, all in 2021.
When people say it are humble, they're saying it like I'm a mari. My guys are just my face sang. Never. I'm see the phone out tanga wearing my chat sang. My guys are chill about side bango. Oh, then share my plans hango. The emo no tower said kwango. It's painful, sugar good boma. My guys are building a jecha, this nigga zeva, raw my profits. My guys answer my hits, I bet right now about raw my sausage.
Tracks that blew up literally in the local hip-hop community. People liked the new sound cause it was boundary pushing. Most of the tracks he released in 2021 were under script 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗁. Whether he was signed there or not is uncertain, but it is a possibility taking into account the sheer number of tracks he released under 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗁. It is important to note that in 2021, Voltz Jt was often seen wearing 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗁, a clothing line he started. It is speculated that 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗁 also did some modeling for 𝗰𝘂𝗿.
Yeah, she used to be my model. I advertised those t-shirts.
The origins of the beef between Voltz Jt and 𝗰𝘂𝗁 is a subject of speculation, so for the credibility of this video we are going to stick to official statements Voltz Jt said in an interview he did with ZTN.
With that 𝗁𝘂𝗍𝗁 track I was talking about, we were doing that Shona trap sound before anyone else. And then back then he was doing that English rap. You know. And then 2019 he came in Aguyani sound radio area. You know, like they're gonna pin him cheek. They're gonna pin him cheek, and then he came in like from ease to ease, you know. So I think that's obvious, you know.
Here we see that contrary to popular belief, 𝗰𝘂𝗁 is actually the one who took inspiration and copied Voltz Jt. He actually addresses this subject in
Guys are building a jecha, this nigga zeva, raw my profits. My guys answer my hits, I bet right now about raw my sausage.
It is, however, interesting to note that 2 months later, after releasing, he collaborated with 𝗰𝘂𝗁 on a single, How Far.
How far you willing to go? Good Masina vibe, good Madira vibe. How far.
The collaboration was received well by the local hip-hop community. On the 29th of November 2021, Voltz Jt released Friends, which overdid How Far in terms of YouTube views and radio play. Voltz Jt and 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗁 were dating at the time. It is important to note that on 22 November 𝗰𝘂𝗁 took sublime shots. To everyone's surprise, on 26 January 2020, 𝗰𝘂𝗁 released, taking shots and name-dropping Voltz Jt publicly. He was saying it is actually Voltz Jt who is copying his style, so he was calling him his son. That same diss track was directed by Voltz Jt's longtime friend, video director 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗶. Where is the loyalty, bro? It is also important to note that on that same day, 26 January 2021, Voltz Jt released 𝗰𝘂𝗿𝗁, which is a whole totally different subject matter. This suggests that Voltz Jt was not aware of 𝗰𝘂𝗁 plans to escalate. On 9th February, Voltz Jt finally replied with the story of Mordecai, which is 𝗰𝘂𝗁's second name. The two went back and forth the whole of 2022. It is important to note that Voltz Jt didn't release another targeted diss. The two also trolled each other on social media.
One time for my G's. My G's is happening. Shout out to Voltz Jt. I see you, my brother. I see you over there. Oh, you wanna Voltz Jt. Panama fans are voted one out. Oh, yo. Dia tara ti ini jogo rongodiwa, ian rongodiwa. Oh, yo.
It's a mini busy in the many which you or talk about links, connects, network, my fame, my power. Tell my people who the outfit writer. Oh. Tando utaka mashis pamoja wangu. Boys wanangu achimuza masasa fani. Yeah, that gang when I see one mundu we say shows for. Hey, wafunga shakida beef nini tamba majonzi ne. Yeah, if you come from a chick then Susa just my friends. Hey, if you come from a chick then Susa just my. No, I'm telling you, cause me and my chick was like to the my friends on okay. As mine is better than yours, I buy yours, I cannot pull down. Mine is crazy, game, silver, aim, I'm the Toma. I have things I'm finding to get a joke out of the second. Mine is insecure, as I hope, funga, me, one, see.